welcome to another episode of The Wellness Connection. As you know, on The Wellness Connection, we're always trying to find those interesting links that connect wellness to everything about life. And today we have with us Hayden Paulsano Hensley from Red Rooster Coffee right here in Floyd, which I have to tell you is my absolute favorite coffee, but we'll get into that a little later. But we're going to talk about how the coffee business can connect you to wellness. So Hayden, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Great. I'm happy to have you. So we're just going to dive right in. You are the owner of Red Rooster
I'm the co-owner.
Coffee. Okay.
Co-owner with my wife, Rose McCutcheon.
Okay, wonderful. So tell me, how did you come to be a coffee roaster? Was this a first career for you? Were you doing something before this, or?
Well, maybe it would be the first thing that I've done that I would call a career.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a builder before this. I worked in construction, which I had taken up putting myself through graduate school. I finished my MFA in 2007, I believe, in writing.
Okay.
And was working on a series of books and working construction to put myself through college. So.
Nice. So you're a published author?
I have been published in magazines and newspapers and things of that nature.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What kind of writing were you doing?
Most of my magazine and newspaper work was in the sort of creative nonfiction field, and then I have some unfinished fiction that's still waiting for the free time.
Yes. Let me know when you find that, because I would like to borrow some of it from you. So Red Rooster Coffee gets born. So where did the name Red Rooster come from?
Well, you know, we started Red Rooster with 4 partners, and if you've ever worked with partners, sometimes the thing that gets picked in the end is just the least bad thing.
the lesser of the evils.
Yeah, the thing that everyone can agree on is not that bad. And so, you know, Red Rooster, we wanted to identify with our rural farming community here in Floyd. We wanted to identify with the morning, and we wanted to have something that was bold and visible and you know, very clearly linked our product to people's imaginations. So, you know, big Red Rooster, you know, just seemed to fit all of those.
Seemed to do the trick.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Nice. Well, it definitely stands out. I know the couple of signs that you all have around town are definitely eye-catching. So the lesser of the evils has worked quite well for
Thank you. Thank you. We got lucky there.
Quite well. So tell me a little bit about Red Rooster business. What makes it your coffee different? What makes your business different from, you know, a Starbucks maybe, or some other, you know, Maxwell House, some other coffees out there?
Well, I think that there's probably a few things that make us different. I mean, we started the business to roast organic coffee. It was important to my wife, who has run the Blackwater Loft, the coffee shop in town, for 10 years now. And when she conceived of the idea of roasting coffee for the loft, it was very important that we roast organic coffee. You know, the thing that makes organic coffee different in particular is that coffee is the second or third most sprayed agricultural product in the world.
Wow.
With pesticides and herbicides. So, cotton being the first and tobacco being sort of tied for second and third with coffee. And so coffee's the one that you consume directly.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that smoking is bad for you. So
It's a little
the
scary.
pesticides and the herbicides maybe don't bother people as much with that. But with coffee, you know, it certainly can affect your health and affect the taste.
Absolutely.
So the principle, and it also, I should mention, it also can affect the people who are growing the coffee, because they have to be exposed to those toxins.
Right.
You know, and so that's a really important part of the way that we think about our relationship to the coffee, is that we have to think about our relationship to the people who are growing the coffee.
Which is nice.
So, you know, you're inevitably going to have children in the field picking coffee, just like you have children, you know, working in dairy farms here in Floyd.
Right.
And you want to make sure that they're not exposed to poison.
Yeah.
As much as you can, you know, halfway around
It's
the
a nice
world.
thing
Yeah.
to not want to expose people to poison intentionally. Yeah,
Sure.
That's good. That's good.
So that was sort of the guiding principle that started the business. But there are many things, I think, that separate our coffee from conventional coffee beyond that. I mean, we use the highest quality coffee in the world. We use 100% Arabica. But we've also had to figure out how to carve a niche for ourselves in terms of quality, because we're from a tiny rural town in Southwest Virginia.
Right.
You know, I mean, little town of 400, population in the county is approaching 16,000. It's not exactly
Metropolis.
Metropolis, exactly. And so we've always had to think about representing ourselves in such a way that our quality is on par with, you know, what you might find in larger urban centers. And I think that's one thing that really separates us from some, you know, other similar businesses to ours. And then, of course, our quality is a big thing, I think, that separates us from a bigger commercial roaster.
Yeah.
You know, as we use the top 5% quality coffee in the world.
Wow.
We roast everything in really small batches, 20-pound batches, where we're attentive to every single batch. We cup every single lot of coffee that comes in to make sure that it's quality, and we profile roast, which is we roast to several different temperatures, and we taste all those roasts to see which one we want to roast that particular bean to.
Wow.
And so we just have to be very attentive to the quality end, and then on top of that, we have to be very attentive to the brand itself and the way it's represented, you know, to people.
Yeah. Now, I remember reading recently, I think you took a trip to Honduras.
It was Nicaragua,
Nicaragua.
actually. Yeah.
Okay. So you're really going all over the world, or are you getting a lot of your stuff from there, or?
Well, that was my first trip to Origin. It was very eye-opening. It was very interesting to think about the way coffee is actually grown and the way that coffee is actually exported, you know, all over the world, particularly to the United States. And what it means to buy coffee, to be a part of that trade system is, you know, it's a burden of responsibility to try and do it correctly, essentially.
Yeah.
So I would really, my dream trip is to go to Ethiopia, which is the, you know, the country of origin of coffee. It was where coffee was discovered 1,000 years ago. And, you know, it would be really wonderful for me to be able to see the sort of origin.
Yeah. Well, hey, put it on the list of things to do.
It's on my list.
Very
definitely.
good. Yeah, the way
It's
things
a
are
long
growing,
list.
you should be getting there sometime soon, I think. So I have to imagine owning a coffee roaster, and you're running the Loft, which is a wonderful little coffee shop here that we have in Floyd. Takes up a lot of time doing the roasting and figuring out all the details of the coffee and temperatures and the right way to do. How does running your business or your business directly support your personal well-being?
Well, that is a really good question. And I'm not sure that I've totally figured it out.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I think my initial impulse is to say that it definitely supports my well-being, in that I control my own destiny, and whatever successes and whatever failures I have, they come back to me, and so it gives me a sense of personal satisfaction, certainly. You know, and that satisfaction is increased by having a product that I really enjoy, you know, that I love myself.
I love it too.
Well, thank you. And so that's really a wonderful experience to be able to taste, you know, some coffee and say, oh my God, that's incredible, and I made that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's very rewarding. I don't think that I've fully found the sort of the balance between work and family and leisure. You know, I mean, our business is just over 4 years old, and I feel like we're just entering into the phase where we might be able to have a little bit of a family and leisure life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that would be an answer for me.
Yeah.
But it's not yet an answer. You know, what it allows me to do is it allows me to control a little bit more of my life, but have other parts of my life completely
out of whack.
Taken up by the business.
Welcome to being a business owner.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly.
Absolutely. It does settle down, and it's always got its peaks and valleys, I think. But, you know, from that perspective, it's got to, at some level, support your wellness to know that your business is so humane, and the level of care and concern and interaction that you have it's not just about coffee and money, but that you're thinking about the growers and the people who are, doing that end of the work for you, that you really give so much consideration to that. At some level, that's got to feed your spirit and your soul. So,
well, it's the most difficult part of my job.
yeah.
Is trying to navigate the relationship between buying coffee and selling coffee to my consumer versus my relationship back to the origin of the coffee, and trying to satisfy my own need to purchase equitable coffee. To have people earning an equitable wage and having a job satisfaction on their end.
Right.
And as a small business owner, a small time coffee roaster, we're going to roast about 30,000 pounds this year, which is really just a drop in the bucket.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And you just don't have that much market share. You don't have the capacity to really affect people's lives as much as you would like to.
Yeah.
And so I feel like part of the reason that I want to grow the business is to be able to do more direct trade coffee purchasing, be able to buy directly from farmers, buy directly from cooperatives,
Nice.
and control my own purchasing, to a larger degree than I'm able to now.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Well, you got a small business with some big stuff on your shoulders.
Well, yeah, it's self-inflicted,
But again, welcome to being a business owner. So, absolutely. So, what's on the horizon for you and Red Rooster? And you have any big things coming up or special things that you're doing?
Well, yeah, I think that some of what I've spoken about with the direct trade and traveling to origin is definitely on our horizon. It's something that we want to work more towards. We want to be able to travel around the world and source amazing coffee. We're working on perfecting our cold brew system, which is a method of brewing by which we soak the coffee grounds in cold water overnight, and we create a concentrate that is a very smooth, incredible drinking iced coffee drink.
So different than just the iced coffee where you make coffee and pour it over ice kind of a thing.
Right, it's very different from that because it doesn't have, it won't go stale. We're serving it up at the loft right now, hooked up to a nitrogen and CO2 tank so that it's actually on tap, but the gas keeps it from going stale.
Oh.
And it's incredibly smooth and balanced, and it just has a richness to it that you can't get from brewing coffee and pouring it over ice. There are Japanese style versions of iced coffee in which you brew coffee directly onto ice, which give it a really nice fruity acidic snap, which I really like. But for a daily drinker of iced coffee and someone who might add cream or sugar to their coffee, the cold brew really works very well for that.
I'll have to try that next time.
Well, please
I'm there.
do, yeah. So we're working on, we're kind of hoping to advance over the next year a system by which we might start bottling it and selling it in grocery stores.
Awesome.
Just regionally to begin with, and then maybe expanding a little bit.
And so that's a good segue. Where can we find
We.
Red Rooster? I know, the collective we. Where can we find Red Rooster coffee? I know we can get it here in Floyd and several places, but where else are you distributing and selling?
Well, we're very fortunate to have a pretty broad wholesale reach right now. So you can certainly buy it at Eats or Annie K's in Blacksburg. If you're in that area, you can buy it at the Fresh Market and the Roanoke Natural Foods Co-op in Roanoke, as well as some cafes and restaurants like the River and Rail and Little Green Hive in Roanoke. You can buy it at Lucy Monroe's in Christiansburg. And then we're very lucky to have a wholesale reach all the way up to Washington, D.C. to a grocery store chain called Mom's Organic Market.
Nice.
There's 10 of those stores, and we sell at Whole Foods outside of DC, and in Charlottesville, and
Nice.
we sell in the fresh market
Wonderful.
as well. So
Wonderful. And do you have a website? I'm sure.
we do, yeah,
Okay.
redroostercoffeeroaster.com.
All right, so we will make sure everybody knows how to get there. And if people in the viewing audience go to the website, can they order from the website as well?
Yeah, we sell directly, and that's probably the best way to get the freshest coffee, because if you order from the website, we ship out the day that we roast. So you really get a very premium, fresh product off of the website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So for everybody out there, I am a self-admitted coffee snob. I'm sorry, but when I started drinking Red Rooster, I gave up on everything else. I really, really did. So if you have an affinity for really good coffee, go visit the Red Rooster website and get yourself some coffee. You cannot go wrong with this stuff.
All right, well, thanks.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it is definitely a true statement. Well, I'm happy to have you here, and maybe one day we can come over and get some footage of you roasting.
Oh,
and
I would love to have you come anytime.
that would be great.
fun.
Yeah, we'd love to catch some footage of you doing some fun stuff and show people, because I'm sure most people are not that connected to where their coffee comes from. So it'd be a nice experience to really see it happen, see it come to be the wonderful thing that we wake up to every morning. That would be great.
Wonderful.
Very good. Well, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It was wonderful. Hey, welcome to Fit for 5. Today we are going to work those abs. So let's get ready to get on the floor. I'm only kidding. We're doing a standing ab routine today because nobody wants to lay on the floor doing sit-ups. So we're going to start with what we call the basic standing crunch. Really easy. Feet together, and you just want to crunch. Crunch your body. Like you got hitting the stomach almost. You really just want to bring it in, right? Tuck your stomach, tuck your hips under, and just really work it. You can do this anywhere. Standing at the stove, brushing your teeth, talking on the phone. You could be working those abs. So this is our standing crunch for our abs. This is our basic go-to position. If anything ever gets too hard, just come right back here and really crunch. Breathe out when you crunch. You could do this sitting at your desk if you wanted to. There's never a moment you can't work on your abs. Really crunch. Tuck it in. Tuck those hips under. All right, we're gonna take the standing crunch and we're gonna move it to the side, stepping out and then bringing our feet together. Get ready. We're gonna transition right now. We're gonna go here and tuck, here and tuck, here and tuck. You can bring your arms down if you want. And tuck it in. Same thing, remember, you want to tuck in your stomach, tuck your hips under, tilt those hips, tilt those shoulders, breathe out. Whoever thought getting your stomach, getting that six-pack was going to be so easy, and you're not even on the floor. Keep going. I know you feel it because I'm feeling it. All right, next, we're going to double our steps and take 2 steps to the side, and then we're going to add some arm movement. So first, let's just start with those 2 steps going to the side. Here we go. Step, together. Every time the feet come together, you want to make sure that you're tucking and tightening and tilting. Now, we're going to add some arms. We're going to swivel and crunch and crunch. Now what this does is not only works the middle ab, but you're also working the sides, your obliques. And you can feel it. Put your hand right there. Every time you go, and blow. Exhale when you crunch. Keep going. Yeah, you're feeling it. Every time your feet come together, you want to tuck. Keep tucking. Breathe out. Now we're going to take it up a notch and lift the arms and pull down. Same 4 steps. Ready? Here we go. Hold down. Yeah. Really feel it on the sides there. Working those obliques. Have a little fun with it. Jazz it up. Be at the club. Get your dance on. Because exercise should be fun. All right. Keep going. Remember to exhale. 4 more of these. Back to the basic crunch. Last 2. Last 1. And crunch. Here. Again. Woo. Feels good, doesn't it? Really tighten those abs. Work on your core. Not only great for your abs, also really good for back health. Because strong abs will keep your back nice and strong. Again, you can put your arms. Want to tilt your hips. Breathe out. Let's open the legs and do the same thing. Straddle and push. Ooh. Yeah, feels good. Who knew such a little thing could give you such great results and make you feel so good? And you can do this anywhere. Just turn on the radio and make it happen anywhere in the house. In your office, you've got a door to get behind. All right. Now we're going to go 4 steps to the side and we're going to do what we call the party crunch. Are you ready? Here we go. Crunch. Crunch. It's a little faster, but we're still doing that tuck. Tucking the hips. Tucking the shoulders. Remember to breathe. Breathing's always important anytime you're exercising. Pump those arms. Get the full body workout. Your arms, your stomach, your legs, everything is working. Keep going. Looking great. Feeling great. Just a few minutes a day will get you in the shape you want to be in. All right, 2 more of these. We're going to go to knee raises with the pump arm. Right here. Here we go. We're going to go down and up, down. You're still crunching. You want to lean a little bit to the side because that's working those obliques again. Bring those knees up and really crunch and breathe out. Go. Make it fun. Just little exercises every day. You don't have to run a marathon. 5 or 10 minutes a day, every day, will get you where you want to be. And it'll help you decrease your risk for so many illnesses and diseases. It's worth it. Remember to tuck and tighten. Keep that core tight all the time. We're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to go side neck raises with the elbows. So we're just going to go singles here. Singles. Singles. Right there. Again, working those obliques, working the hip flexors. Singles. Right there. To the side, not so much to the front. If it gets too hard, you can take your time. You can take a break if you need to. You always come back to it. You can always go back to the standing crunch, the basic, but feel those obliques working, whittling that waist away. We're going to do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, back to our standing crunch. Right here. Right there. All right. This is always the basic exercise. Even if you just did this the whole time, you're working out your abs, increasing your heart rate a little bit, building muscle, burning fat, and getting fit. It only takes a few minutes a day to get you in the best shape ever. So stand up, get those abs going, and I'll see you next time on Fit for Love. Welcome to Well with Elle. Today we are going off the beaten path. That is the path of thyroid hormones. Do you ever feel tired even after you've had a really good night's sleep? Regularly feeling kind of foggy headed? Do you suffer with dry skin, brittle nails? Or are you having that unexplained weight gain that you just can't seem to get rid of? You know what? Your problem might be what I call a thyroid pathway imbalance. Now, what the heck is that? Well, we all kind of know that hypothyroidism is sort of all the rage right now. Lots and lots of people are getting tested, wondering if their thyroids are imbalanced or maybe the underlying cause of some of the health issues that they are dealing with. And they're getting tested hoping for an answer. Far too often, though, you're coming back with results that say your thyroid panel is in the normal range. Have you ever heard this before? But still, something inside of you knows that something is just not quite right. Well, I have what may be an answer for you. You may not have full-blown hypothyroidism, but you might have a thyroid pathway imbalance. TPI, as I call it, is characterized by your thyroid panel numbers being within the normal range, but you're still feeling the effects of low thyroid, but it's not clinically diagnosable. To further complicate figuring all of this out, it may not simply be a matter of your body not producing enough thyroid hormone, because hormone production is just one step along the thyroid pathway. Other organs and system imbalances, like your digestive system or a weak liver, can also impact the effectiveness with which your body uses thyroid hormone. Now, how might you know if thyroid pathway imbalance is underlying your health concerns? Well, there's a couple of things that you can do. A full thyroid panel that's evaluated by a health professional who is knowledgeable about functional health can give you some good indication about whether or not your thyroid is working, but the pathway might be a little dusty and need some cleaning off. Other things that you can do are take your basal temperature every morning. Your basal temperature is taken by taking a temperature before you do anything in the morning, before you put your feet on the ground, before you sit up in the bed. Take your temperature every morning. And if 3 out of 5 days of your temperature is lower than what a normal temperature reading is, it could be an indication that your thyroid pathway is a little bit out of balance. Other indications are looking at the outer 1/3 of your eyebrow, because guess what? If that's starting to disappear, it's an indication that your thyroid might not be imbalanced. Also, you can look at symptoms, because again, you know how you feel. If you're feeling always fatigued, even though you're getting a good night's sleep, foggy headed, weight gain, dry skin, these are all common symptoms of low thyroid activity. By evaluating the steps along the pathway of your thyroid, you are better able to identify and address the source of the issue, and you're better positioned to take steps to improve your overall health.